Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Good, the Bad, the Sports. Let's jump right in to today's good news. Hello and welcome. Before we begin with the good news today, I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and I hope you had a very happy new year. And for the good news today, what better way to start and with a New Year's Day trivia game? So for this trivia game, there's one question, but there's multiple answers to that, and the goal is to get all of them. Now, it's New Year's Day bowl games, and a bowl game is basically a college football game that gets played on New Year's Day. So it's asking, can you name the bowl games that have been played on New Year's Day without naming a wrong one? So, yeah, we're going to start the quiz. You have 4 minutes to play, and try to play along with me and see how we do at the end. So it looks like if you enter correct answer, it goes right into the answer box. Let's see if I know any other ones. Let's see. Got 5 out of 9, but I'm stuck now. Let me know where you're at right now. I can swear the Peach Bowl exists. Alright, I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, let me know what you got. And I cannot think of the other ones. Hold on, there's an ad. Yeah. But these are all the ones I got. I was able to get 6 of them. There are still 3 more that I wasn't able to get. Yeah, pretty tricky quiz. See the stats. So I was able to get the easier ones they consider, but there's still 3 harder ones. But yeah, still good score. And yeah, let me know what you got. Now, let's move on to today's bad news. For the bad news today, we discuss the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft. Now, why is this the bad news? It's bad news because in the game between the Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders, the loser of that game would get the number 1 spot. Coming to that game, the Giants were seeded at number 1 for the number 1 pick in the NFL Draft, and most people thought this was perfect because they were going to be able to trade with someone who wants to take a quarterback. However, the outcome of that game showed that the Raiders now slotted in at number 1 in the NFL Draft and will most likely take a quarterback in their first pick and not trade for someone else. Now, the Giants are slotted at number 2 and will probably still trade with someone else who wants the second quarterback in the draft for 2026, which is a disaster for the Giants to lose that game because being number 1 is always, it's not good because that means you had a terrible season, but it's good because you can help build your future better than if you were number 2. But we'll see what they do in the draft, and we'll see who the Raiders take at number 1, or if they do for some reason wind up trading for the 5th or 6th pick with someone else. But yeah, an interesting thing I thought to mention. For the big sports topic today, we talk about analytics and how analytics has greatly impacted all sports around the United States. Now, in football, analytics has played a big part. For example, on 4th down, the analytics will tell you whether or not you should go or not. Now, some coaches are very aggressive and they don't even listen to analytics. They just go for it because they have confidence in their team. The analytics can also tell you what coverages or what plays to choose on certain plays, knowing the defensive style or the offensive style. However, then again, the coaches, whether offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or head coach, does not have to do what the analytics choose, but it still plays a massive part because it just gives you another resource that can give you a little advantage over your opponent, and in a game of inches, that can make a big difference in the outcome of the game. Now, in baseball, analytics has also made a big impact because it's telling what stats the pitchers have thrown, like what pitches they're going to throw on a certain count, and it just giving hitters an advantage in arguably the hardest thing to do, which is to hit a baseball when it's coming 95 or so miles an hour, and also what defense how to shift. And in basketball, it can tell you the plays to run, similar to football, and just different coverages that you might see on an offense, and the different play style that a team might play, whether they're fast-paced, slow-paced, defensive, offensive. So overall, analytics just has made a massive impact on the game. And let me know whether or not you think it's good for the game. I do think it's good because any advantage you can get is a big one in all of these professional sports, which are very competitive and tight every day. And this is the last week of the NFL, so our last week of picks. It is currently week 18 of the NFL, and we've already had two great games go on. Both division rivals, the Bucks Panthers. I thought that game was for the division, but it's actually not. The Panthers still have a chance to make the playoffs with an Atlanta Falcons win today against the Saints. So we'll be looking for that game at 1 p.m. today, because that will determine the Panthers' fate of the season after almost 10 years of not making the playoffs at this point. Also, the Seahawks-Niners. The Seahawks clinched the number one seed in the NFC over a dominating win against a tough 49ers team, even with all those injuries. A couple of good games today. A bunch of teams are sitting their players if they already made their playoff picture. But yeah, a couple of good games this week. Texans-Colts. I do think the Texans are going to win. I think they are sitting a couple of their players because they are going to make the playoffs no matter what. Bengals-Browns. Bengals should win that game. They're not sitting anybody, so it should be a pretty dominating performance from the Bengals. Saints-Falcons. Falcons should win that one, and I do then think the Panthers will get in that division, even though I don't know if they're going to go far in that division. Packers-Vikings. Packers should win that game. Vikings are struggling. Playing a little bit better of late, but still a mediocre football team. Jags should dominate the Titans. Cowboys-Giants. I do think the Giants might actually win this game, which would be terrible for them. As I mentioned before, they'd fall, I think, even further down, depending on the outcomes of today's games. Cards-Rams. Rams should win that one. They are probably sitting a couple of their guys. They do need a win, though, to keep their seed elevated. Chiefs-Raiders. Chiefs should win that one pretty comfortably. Commanders-Eagles. I got Eagles. I do think they're going to win, and it should be a good win for them. Patriots fighting for that number one seed. Let's see if they dominate against Dolphins or not. Lions-Bears. I think the Bears should beat the Lions. The Lions have really nothing to play for. They're out of the playoffs, so look for them to just go right into that Panthers defense and try and get some stops on defense as well. Chargers-Broncos. Broncos should win. The Chargers are sitting their quarterback, their running backs out. Broncos trying to clinch that one seed. We'll see what happens between these two games later at 4:25 p.m. today. Jets-Bills. Bills should be a comfortable win for the Bills, rolling right into the playoffs for Josh Allen and that after that tough loss against the Eagles. Ravens-Steelers. Oh, this game is really important because this is for the division. I'm actually going to go with the Ravens. The Steelers just didn't look good. No DK Metcalf. Derrick Henry shows up in big moments like this, just like last week against the Packers, and he's going to show up again, and they're going to get that win. But yeah, these are all my picks, and let me know what you think.